Birmingham, Alabama, 1963. It was the most racist, most segregated city in the South. On April 12, 1963, Martin Luther King left his room at the Gaston Motel and walked 2 blocks to the 16th Street Baptist Church, where a gathering of protesters joined him for a march on City Hall. He had targeted Birmingham as the site for mass demonstrations against segregation, but the masses had failed to materialize, and King decided to go to jail himself. The nation watched quietly as King was placed in solitary confinement. 1963 would mark Dr. King's lowest point as leader of the civil rights movement. It had been 8 long years since his only major victory with Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott.
When I first met Dr. King, the mission he was embarking on was completely unknown to him. He hadn't the foggiest idea where it would lead, and certainly going to Birmingham was a choice of enormous consequence. It was a battlefield where the movement would sink or swim.
Birmingham, to be perfectly honest, was a grim place through the eyes of African Americans.
It was the most rigid, the most violent, the most vicious.
It was the biggest and baddest city in the South. We nicknamed it Birmingham.
Frankly, compared to other places, there's no racial unrest in Birmingham.
There'd been 60 unsolved bombings in Birmingham, and the local police had never arrested a soul.
The Ku Klux Klan was big in Birmingham, all through the police department and up into City Hall.
Life in Birmingham, as far as I'm concerned, is hell.
I don't believe in the mixing of the races, and I don't care what anybody says. I might be prejudiced. I don't know. I probably am.
As a kid, I always wanted to eat at Newberry's downtown, and I always wanted a big hamburger plate. Always. We couldn't have that.
I went downtown to the Newberry's, and I was so happy because I could sit on the little black stools that twirled and order me a hot dog with everything on it.
I'm not going to integrate.
Instead of serving me, they called in the police.
You've got to keep the white and the black separate.
I never could understand why white people hated us. As a kid, I just felt like they thought some of the black would rub off on them, you know.
Well, Birmingham is a symbol of hardcore resistance to integration.
I always worked under this philosophy. You can never whip these birds if you don't keep you and them separate.
The good people of Birmingham had put Bull Connor in office 7 times.
Bull Connor. That's a Bull Connor with the monster.
His title was Commissioner of Public Safety, and his mission was to keep the streets safe for white people.
He had a tank.
Army tank?
white.
Under Bull Connor, Birmingham was the closest thing in America to a police state.
So the theory was, we need to bring all this out in the open. And if they're going to kill us, let them kill us in the middle of the day, not at night one at a time.
Most black people were afraid of the movement.
My mom was scared. She would always say, don't make any waves.
See, our parents, they couldn't go because they was working for the whites.
If they were seen on the picket line, then they ended up losing their job or having their house foreclosed or having their car repossessed. So the parents couldn't do it.
As a kid, we always wanted to think that these things would stop soon. And that mom and dad, since they fixed everything else, that they would fix it.
We thought that you could just shame the white man into, look how bad you treating your Negroes, you know. But I found out that they were determined not to give 1/8.
Dr. King had gone to jail in hopes that thousands of protesters would follow his example and overwhelm the system. But it didn't work out that way. The blacks of Birmingham stayed home, and the press quickly lost interest.
Is he still in solitary confinement?
Yes, he is. I think he'll be there for a while. I don't know just when he'll be coming out.
One of the last things King did before going to jail was to place an urgent call to a fiery young preacher in Mississippi by the name of James Bevel.
Bevel was a secret weapon.
He was the brain of the bunch.
He was obnoxious as the devil, but that was his role.
Well, I knew that the Birmingham project was going very slow because they couldn't get many people to go to jail. So what we got to do is go out and organize young people. The first thing I said, well, who did this doctor? They told me. Tall Paul was there and Shelley the Playboy, and they agreed with nonviolence.
I was somewhat of a crazy guy, I guess.
What's up, brother?
Shelley stood, he was the DJ for real back during the day. And he had a red car and had Shelley the Playboy written on it.
Good goobly woobly.
Shelley the Playboy was the mouth of the South.
What's up, everybody?
No one had a closer relationship with the kids in Birmingham.
Make some noise, everybody, make some noise! Woo!
Being on the air, you had music, which is the thing. But each time you have an opportunity, you talk about freedom. You talk about rights. Didn't take very much to get the kids. The kids knew. They knew.
We started with the football players and the cheerleaders and the beauty queens.
I was an 88-pound majorette.
I got involved in moving because I was talking to a little pretty girl.
Ooh, I can see myself wearing long skirts, donut socks.
Good morning, little schoolgirl. Good morning, little schoolgirl.
We broke it down very simply. Look, you can get hit by a baseball bat playing baseball, but segregation destroys the inside of your mind and your soul, and it doesn't heal that easily.
I played football on the football team. I played defensive tackle.
Reverend Bevel asked, have you ever wondered why your helmets are always blue and white, but the school colors are green and gray? He said, you get the equipment that the white schools discard.
I'm glad I chose the movement and not athletics.
Bevel would turn down the lights and show a movie from the sit-in movement in Nashville.
I saw a bunch of coloreds sitting on the stools. They looked like they